Konnichiwa, konbanwa, hola. Guys, I've been using DaVinci Resolve 21's photo page alongside Adobe Lightroom on real client work and like fun work for the past 2 months, but not as a tech reviewer and not to run benchmarks, but like as a colorist and as a director who actually has to deliver both stills and videos from the same projects. So if you guys remember, in April, Blackmagic launched Resolve 21, right, at NAB, and they introduced this photo page, which everybody started calling a Lightroom killer. Now, that framing is wrong. It's not a Lightroom killer, but it is something more interesting than that. And if I just tell you that, like, guys, it's not a Lightroom killer, and just leave it there, I'm also not being fair, and I'm not being honest about what actually changed in the industry. So today I'm gonna kind of walk you through what I actually found after 2 months of playing around, because I love playing around. It's playtime for life, and kind of talk about where Resolve wins, where Lightroom wins, and most importantly, which one you should actually be in based on what kind of work that you do. No benchmarks, no spec sheets, just real world use from someone whose job is to make things look good on a deadline. All right, so what you see right now on my screen is basically the photo page, and it's similar, like the UI is similar. We have the media pool here, we have photo albums. Basically they are like timelines, so you have views, you have portraits, I have animals, so I kind of mix what this is. So this is basically what the photo page actually is. And the thing, honestly, a lot of coverage on the media on YouTube has actually got this wrong. The photo page in DaVinci Resolve is not a Lightroom clone. It is basically Blackmagic taking the same node-based color science they've built already for professional video work, just kind of making it available for still images. You still get your primary correction, LGG, your wheels, your curves, your qualifiers, your power windows, and the full node tree, the whole spiel. And also applied it to your raw photos from Canon, Fujifilm, Nikon, Sony, whatever have you, right? What that means in practice is that if you already grade footage in Resolve, you can now bring your photos in the same application and grade them with the same tools. And here's the part that matters the most for hybrid creators. You could apply the same color look across your stills, literally with that middle mouse. You just copy the grade or your stills, and you can sync your stills and your video footage in a single project. Now that is genuinely new, which did not exist before. The other thing that is new in the photo page is you also get tethering, basically live capture from Sony and Canon cameras straight onto Resolve, with control over your ISO, with exposure, white balance from your laptop or your desktop, from your photo studio. Because before, I used to remember in photo studios you would only see like people would have their Lightrooms open like on their page, and then there would be a camera which would be connected to your laptop or your computer. But now you can do that with Resolve as well. The other thing is you get Resolve's AI package, in the sense that you get CineFocus, which is an AI powered focal point tool that can reshift focus on a still that was shot slightly soft. Let me show you. So let's say I take this one, for example. So I really like this area. So what I can do, if I look at the photo, obviously you see, before I get into that, you can see like my temp tint right here. I could do that. I can do like a simple LGG, lift this, lift the gamma, lift the gain a little bit. There you go. So let's say I did a basic adjustment right here. You also have your raw tab where you can do like all that stuff. But anyway, going to the effects, is you could go here, search for CineFocus, and basically, guys, just drop it. Bro, this is amazing. Now, if I go here, if I choose focus, I could change the focus distance, guys, on where I want. For example, I want the hut to kind of have more focus. I could put that there, increase the depth of field, so this is more in focus and that is in background. Go to the result, and voila, Bob's your uncle. And if I want, let's say I do not want foreground blur, I can remove that. So now this is my foreground and that's my background. I just did a separation with simple clicks and sliders with AI. So that is what is possible now, guys. That is what is possible. It's the future. I can even do focus peaking. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And like, let's take another example. Oh, the best part is you can go to your aperture, you can do a anamorphic lens. Look at that. You could choose anamorphic lens and you can dial in the amount as well for your footages. Let's take another example. Okay, let's say I want the Mustang logo to be a little bit more prominent, right? Again, same thing, cine focus. And now what I could do is I could track focus with the point. So I could now just drag it. And this is a little bit high on GPU, but there you go. And boom. If I go my focus, look at that. Literally, check out my depth map, the focus. Let's maybe increase the depth of field a little bit more. And right there, and result. Look at that. I have more focus on the logo. Now this was before, and this is after. So this is only possible with this tool, and that is honestly amazing. And the other thing that you get with this, let's go back to the media pool. My friends, you get IntelliSearch, which lets you search your bins with natural language. The best part about that is it actually works. Let me show you. So you have this little button here. So perform AI analysis in all clips. So I just click on that. Analyze for IntelliSearch. I don't need slate transcription or audio here. I just analyze. Now basically all this entire clip, these entire clips are just gonna get scanned in AI. And the best part is I could, like, you know, let's say I just do woman with natural language, all the ones with woman pop up. Isn't that amazing? If I do car, look at that. Car. Let's do elephant. Wow. Look at that. Then you could also, if you go to workspaces here, and I think you do manage faces, because of your IntelliSearch, you can see all these different faces. So now if you have multiple clips of the same person, you can actually categorize them. You can tag them as a new face and name them. So you could then search over here by other faces. For example, let's see, I just want to give an example. Let's say I tag this as a new face. Let's say I use Nicole, for example. So now I have Nicole. So if I have more photos of Nicole, it'll automatically tag them. So then I could just click here and I see Nicole. All her images will just pop up. That is the beauty of AI nowadays. And because the photo page is wired into the Resolve, you get more things for photographers that they do not expect. Number one is your film look creator. It is Blackmagic's film stock emulation tool. It drops a full cinematic look onto a still in a single panel. Grain, halation, all of it. Let me show you. Let's take this photo for example. I just go to effects. Let's do film look creator. Let me just do a quick balancing over here. Auto balance, because why not? There you go, white balanced. Film look creator, drag and drop. Now I have presets here. I could do Aurora. I could do a cinematic. Now I can crop these and make it do all of that. Like I could change like the film gate. I don't want the film gate, for example, but I could still get the look. You see look at her like her highlights on her cheeks. Look at her contour here on her collarbone. Look at her arms. It's amazing. Then let's say I do nostalgic. Guys, come on. Let's do bleach bypass. Wow. Let's do default 35mm. Amazing. There's also the AI Ultra Sharpen, which is basically Resolve's most advanced sharpening tool that can rescue a slightly soft frame and clean up an upscale. You get so much with just one click. So let's say we do Ultra Sharpen. Effects, we do Ultra Sharpen. Take a look here. Just increase this a bit. Look at the texture that it's just doing. And the best part is, even with your Resolve's like whole power windows and stuff, you can actually kind of focus that on particular parts of the image. But one honesty note while I'm on this, tethering, cinefocus, and this ultra sharpen are studio only. They sit behind the one-time DaVinci Resolve Studio license. The photo page itself, the node grading, the IntelliSearch, the film look creator, all in the free version. So just so you know, these are real features. I've used them on real client deliverables. Cinefocus in particular, I used it on like a shoot where we had two selects that were nearly identical, but one was like, slightly soft. Cinefocus pulled it back. That saved the shot, guys. So I really don't want to brush past these things. Like for example, if you see like this thing right here is not that sharp, but if I go to ultra sharpen, because this has a lot of contrast elements, it will help bring that back, If I do 0.5, it does a very, very good job. I don't know how much you're able to see this on YouTube, but on my screen, guys, it's hella good. But anyway, so going back to what I'm talking about, here's where Resolve 21 genuinely wins, and it's not where most people think. The biggest advantage is the color science alignment. So when you're shooting a film or a commercial that kind of includes both videos and stills, behind the scenes content, then you have, let's say, product shots, key art. Right now, what happens is most hybrid workflows involve grading the video in Resolve, exporting stills from the video or your photos, and doing the still selects in Lightroom. You're always fighting the look across two different color pipelines. With Resolve 21, you can kind of grade both inside the same node tree with the same color science, and the look matches because it's literally the same grade. And that is genuinely not a small thing at all. Let me show you. So now think of it like this. In a media pool, each album is like a timeline, right? So the moment you go to the color page, you have access to basically stills like here. So now let's say I have, different nodes. This one is, let's say, window, right? So now let's say I added a window here. Let's say I added a gradient. Let's say I do it like this. I kind of soften it, like switch it around maybe. Like up there, and let's say I just soften it up like that, and then I just, let's say I took the primary connection and just like increase the gain, decrease, basically just added a tiny bit contrast. And that's what you see, how like the bottom part is like more now elevated. And then I could add, let's say, add an outside node and just take the curves and just literally decrease it. So like you could see, like overall I've had that. Now if I want the same thing over here, I could just drag and drop. So like, just middle click and I have literally the same thing over here. So you could see that's the whole point, of this entire node. Like I could do these changes and still go across. Now if I want, I'm choosing a photo album, I could choose a timeline if I want to. So that's the main point. That's the whole point of how I could kind of go between edit, photo, video, all of that. Moving on to the third one is where Resolve wins. Cost model. The base app, the node grading, IntelliSearch, Film Look Creator, guys, they're all f***ing free. The two marquee tools, the AI tools, Cinefocus and Ultra Sharpen, they need Resolve Studio. But guys, that's a one-time license, not a monthly bill. So you're not renting anything. Lightroom is a subscription you pay every month for f***ing forever. For filmmakers already living in Resolve, adding stills to the same application is close to zero cost decision. There are places where Lightroom still wins, and that is the part that matters the most for professional photographers specifically, and that is catalog management. If you're a photographer with 20,000 images across multiple shoots organized by client, by year, with flags and collections and star ratings built up over the years, none of that exists in Resolve. Resolve's bin system is built for project-based video work. It is not built for that kind of long-running library management that Lightroom's catalog kind of provides. And there is no migration path as well. So if you switch to Resolve, the real deal is that you're starting your library from scratch. That's a harsh truth. Now, the preset ecosystem is the Lightroom preset market is enormous, guys. Photographers who have invested in a specific preset workflow, who sell presets, it's like a whole industry, who teach with presets, whose whole client delivery pipeline is built around them. None of that transfers to Resolve. So you would be kind of rebuilding your entire look from the ground up in a node tree, which is better technically, but it's not the same thing as your existing workflow. No matter how much I love nodes, still. The other thing is the mobile sync. Lightroom has literally an application on your iPhone with a full cloud sync. So on set, I could shoot test on my phone. It syncs to Lightroom on my laptop or on my desktop. That does not exist in Resolve yet. That is also a harsh truth. Honestly, Lightroom is just more mature for photography, It's like the organization features, the batch export options, the metadata handling, all of it is more developed. It was built for photos. So again, that's not a knock on Resolve 21. It's genuinely impressive for version 1.0, but keep this in mind, version 1.0 is competing against Lightroom's version 15 or whatever. That gap is real. So guys, here is what my workflow actually looks like right now, 2 months in. For commercials where I'm delivering both video and stills from the same job, I'm in Resolve. The unified color pipeline is worth more to me than any other consideration. If you're doing that and switching softwares, you're just stupid. Again, my clients get stills and videos that look like they came from the same set of creative decisions because they genuinely did. Now, for anything that is pure still photography first, editorial work, personal photography, shoots where no video component is there, I'm still in Lightroom. The catalog, the preset library that is already there, the delivery workflow, none of that is worth throwing away for the color tools that I can replicate with enough node work. And that is a fact. Now, I might not use Lightroom as much, but you get the point. The honest reality is that I'm kind of running both applications from time to time, obviously more Resolve. And I don't think that's a bad outcome, They're not doing the same job for me anymore. Resolve is more like hybrid production. Lightroom is kind of like photography, archiving, and just photo delivering. If you're only photo related, keep in mind, God is in the details. It's not an A and B, it's a grade. Depends on the situation of what you're doing, where you're going, what is the deliverable, what type of shoot is it. Keep that in mind, guys. Here is the honest split. If you are a filmmaker who also shoots stills, a hybrid content creator, a commercial director, any production context where you're delivering both, Resolve 21 is probably your primary photo application right now. The color science alignment alone is worth it. You're already living in Resolve for your video. If you're in Premiere, I don't know, I cannot help you, but the learning curve is very minimal. And obviously there is no subscription, so there's that. And if you are a professional photographer, your primary work is stills, you have an established catalog, you sell presets, or you teach with Lightroom, don't switch. That photo page is impressive for version 1. Check back in 12 months, check back in 24 months, whenever. Keep in mind, Blackmagic iterates very fast. But right now, the catalog limitations and the missing mobile workflow make a full switch kind of expensive in time and disruption. If you are somewhere in the middle, you should both, but photography is the lead discipline. Try running both in parallel on your next project. Grade your stills in Resolve. See if the unified workflow gives you something. See if the catalog limitations bother you. Let your own experience make that call, Don't rely on just this video or just like, oh, this is video, only Resolve, Go with the flow. So the Lightroom killer narrative was the wrong frame from the chart that I'm hearing everywhere. Blackmagic did not build a Lightroom replacement. They basically built a photography tool for people who already think in nodes, work in timelines, and grade color for a living. For that person, this is genuinely exciting. For everyone else, it's a tool to watch. Just to close it out, let me leave you with one thing. The most common mistake I see with DaVinci Resolve and with any professional tool is what I'd call a feature collection, right? So you learn a new feature, you add it to the list of things you know, You build up a mental inventory of capabilities. Feature collection isn't a skill. Skill is knowing which tool to use for which problem and why, and being fast enough at the decision that it doesn't interrupt the work. That is extremely, extremely important. The photographers who will get the most out of Resolve 21's photo page are not the ones who learn every feature. They're the ones who figure out the 20% of the tool that solves 80% of their specific problems and ignore the rest. My DaVinci Resolve course on Skillshare is kind of built around exactly that 20%. If you want to go deeper on the color tools, the node workflow, the scopes, how I actually build a grade from scratch on real client footage, the link is in the bio. I have over 1,600 students that have gone through it already. So subscribe if this was useful. And if you disagree with any of it, if you think I got the whole Lightroom call wrong, I would genuinely love to know. Tell me in the comments. I always respond. And I'll see you very soon. Peace.